Good afternoon and welcome to TV47's newsfeed. You're watching it and I am Ruth Mulandi. Now we begin our first story where the political alliance bringing together ANC, Ford Kenya, KANU and Wiper has been rebranded to One Kenya Alliance. The coalition says it is ready to walk strong towards 2022. The coalition is accusing ODM of betrayal in the already messy NASA coalition.
Fellow Kenyans, we convene here to thank you for the confidence you bestowed on us by electing candidates of our alliance in Matungu, ANC candidate Peter Oscar Nablindo, Kapchais Ford Kenya, Majimbo Joseph Kalasinga, and Machakos Wiper's candidate Senator Agnes Kavindu Mudhama, as well as Makueni Wipers in Kitise, Kithuki Ward, Sebastian Muli, who is not here with us today. We appreciate in a very special way the role of KANU and specifically its party chairman, Senator Gideon Moi, for his unrelenting support in all the three by-elections, despite the fact that KANU did not field a candidate in any of them. In equal measure, we extend our profound gratitude to Jubilee Party for their support. In this regard, we shall reciprocate the same gesture in the forthcoming by-elections.
I just want to reiterate that we stand with Senator Malala. And in politics, these are some of the sacrifices that are made to underpin the need for justice, for freedom, for democracy. So Senator Malala is not alone. He's not alone. There are many Kenyans who stand with him. And this is not about tokenism. We must move away from politics of blackmail. What we are seeing in the event of Malala, or what we saw with Wetangula many months ago, was somebody trying to blackmail Kenyans. This will not work. Let us be prepared as a Kenyan people to compete. Mimi sikujua kwamba kumbe Matungu ilikuwa kama kahawatungu.
This new alliance, One Kenya Alliance, which I believe is truly a sacred union, is taking shape. Of course, we are cognizant of the fact that we have the NASA coalition, which is legally in existence, and which our friends continue sometimes to misinterpret deliberately, as in the case of Senator Malala. Senator Malala has stood out as one of the most promising young Kenyan leaders. I saw him on the ground in Matungu, and fearless, stands strong and fearless. So why should anybody be punished for being straight, fearless? That is why Wiper Democratic Movement stands shoulder to shoulder with our friends in ANC. And I'm sure Ford Kenya also issues a statement, and our friends in KANU. So, tuko tayari kabisa kuleta pumzi mpya. Wakenya wapumue hewa safi mpya.
Now elsewhere, the government is planning to expand Murang'a-Kenol Road as to ease heavy traffic along the road. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia has said the 31-kilometer road will be expanded to increase the number of lanes to avoid a snarl-up. Macharia spoke when he met Murang'a MCAs to discuss the development agenda of the county. The CS further said the county will also benefit with an airstrip at Kimbwira area, saying Murang'a is among several counties which lack an airstrip. The Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria said his administration is working with the national government to expand the municipality.
What about the road from Keno to Murang'a town and to Sagana? It is also congested, and so we have plans as government to make sure this road is expanded. Those plans are there, and certainly we also came to check what can be done in the short term, and that will be done very, very soon.
We've done a discussion on feeder roads which are outstanding in Murang'a and which he has promised to undertake as he does in other counties. Also, the small bridges connecting villages. We've agreed that we are going to connect every village in Murang'a through Waziri Macharia, through those bridges. We've also discussed other broader issues like the issue of expanding Murang'a County as a municipality so that it covers a wider geography. That is at the tail end, it's at the minister's office. Also, as he announced a couple of weeks ago, the county assembly had approved Keno and Kangale to be upgraded to municipality status. And again, he has said he's going to conclude that. And we have also said we also start assessment of Kangema, so that again, we can also have Kangema also as one of the municipalities.
Now, police in Mwingi North constituency have been accused of failure to apprehend rape suspects. Residents are accusing police officers of laxity and releasing suspects accused of rape after receiving kickbacks. A 15-year-old Class 7 girl was allegedly raped by a man who was arrested but later released before being presented to court, even after medical examination revealed that the minor had been raped. In Ngungwani area, another minor was allegedly raped by a well-known boda rider who was arrested but has not been presented to court.
Na kumekuwa na cases mingi sana za development katika eneo hii ya Ngungani sublocation. Na hizi case haziendi bali huwa zinapotea. Kwa hiyo tunauliza serikali ikaweze kuingilia, uliza administration ya Ngungani, administration ya Mumoni na Kenya Police ya Ngungani na Kenya Police ya Mumoni. Ulize kwa nini hizi case zinapotea ama zinakulwa pesa na watu. Kwa hivyo hatujui kwa nini kinaendelea. Kwa hivyo kijana aliposhikwa ameachiliwa na hajawahi kanyanga kotini.
Now we move over where the United Green Movement is currently unveiling its candidate for the upcoming Bonchari by-election. Let's cross over and listen in on that.
They believe in our principles. She has been a good member of parliament, and we trust that in the next 1 year and a half that is remaining, the people of Bonchari will be having the best representation. We also like to say that there is nothing new that the old politicians that we see coming together are offering this country. That is why we really request Kenyans to embrace fresh thinking, green thinking political parties like the United Green Movement Party. And thank you very much for all the support, and we look forward to campaigning jointly with you, members of the 4th Estate in Bonchari, and we're sure that on the May 18th at night, the United Green Movement Party is going to have the first elected member of parliament in Bonchari, the Honorable Mary Kera. Thank you very much, and we're happy to take any questions, should you have any. Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Wamalo from DStv. Swali langu ni kuhusu the group of politicians who have just spoken at Sayana. It's evident enough, or it's in public domain, that as we remain with 17 months to elections, it has emerged that no party can go single-handed and green power. So as UDM, are you planning to make a coalition with any of the parties? Because we've seen ODM has just released a statement now saying that soon they will be launching an alliance that will shock the country. Maybe what are your plans as UDM as we head to the end?
Thank you very much. Is there another question? I'm happy to deal with one other question if there is one. Thank you very much for that question. It depends on what political power is. For us in the United Green Movement Party, we appreciate that political power vests in the Houses of Parliament. That the National Assembly, the Senate, the county assemblies is where people power vests. And that particular power vests in the manner of What Kenyans need, like the Honorable Komara said, is social justice, issues of development, health, education, roads, infrastructure. That power does not vest in the presidency. That power vests in the houses of National Assembly, and that power vests in the county assemblies, and that power vests in the House of the Senate. As the United Green Movement Party, we will field candidates for National Assembly like we're doing right now. We will field candidates for the county assemblies. We'll also field candidates for gubernatorial elections like Honorable Komara, who is running for Governor Tana River. And we believe that is where power vests. Kenyans should not be duped into mutating power. There is nothing, the group of four in One Kenya Alliance, I think the only thing they've dropped is the O in Okoa. They used to be in the other coalition, and if they're telling us that it's just about a group of politicians who are mutating with bad manners. One of their partners, again, I think you've said, is going to form an alliance. We are going to form post-election alliances with like-minded political parties. Once we have sufficient members of parliament, and once we have sufficient members of the county assemblies, and once we have sufficient members of the Senate, we will be forming like-minded alliances to push on our campaign manifesto. We appreciate it's not going to be easy, like you've said, but we also appreciate that right now the Jubilee coalition went into power as one amorphous coalition, but you've seen midway they had to look for unlike-minded bedfellows, and so the unlike-minded bedfellows are looking for other unlike-minded bedfellows. That is just politics of bad manners. And as United Green Movement Party, we do not want to be party to their bad manners. We want to sanitize Kenyan politics. We want to win elections with clean and people with good track records, and from there on we'll seek to form governments in our own terms without forming pre-election coalitions, but we'll form post-election coalitions. I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Indeed, there, the Green Movement Party unveiling its candidate for the May 18th by-election in Bonchari constituency. Now we move on, where the body of President John Pombe Magufuli has this morning, been moved to his ancestral home in Chato for public viewing ahead of the burial on Friday. Chato, Geita, and neighboring residents are today paying their last respects to the late president at the Magufuli Stadium to allow for public mourning. The ceremony was led by Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa and attended by the second Vice President of Zanzibar, Hamed Suleiman Abdullah, and Head of Defense Forces, Venance Mabeyo. Tens of thousands lined up as the hearse containing the coffin made way into the grounds, accompanied by military vehicles. Despite fears of widespread infections of COVID-19, several mourners still wore no masks. President Magufuli will be buried tomorrow at his Chato home, Geita, in northwestern Tanzania. He died on March 17th after a 10-year battle with heart complications. Indeed, a somber mood there in Tanzania. We here in Kenya also mourn the death of the late president, and condolences to all the family members and friends of the late president. Now, with that story, we take a short break, but we'll be right back with more news.
At 6:30 p.m. on the Throwdown. Baked dessert, quite easy, no baked desserts. The Scottish cranberry apple crumble.
Umesimamia mfanyikazi hapo, hakuna maji imewekwa.
Yes.
Carelessness. It's pricey. Sure, babe.
Join us this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. as we head to Machakos to learn all about small-scale dairy farming.
On the next episode of Garden of Eden.
There are 1,000 red flags. The gut, you know when something's off.
Should we get to a point where he says we?
This generation, you don't even ask a girl out anymore. You just sort of like, you know, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you know, because there's give and there's take.
Every Wednesday at 10 p.m. On the next episode of
For your house.
I need to make my space look good. We see all these inspirations and to do.
That excitement of jumping to take something because you like. After that, you can resell your house or you can enjoy your house and your life is happy.
The Realtor, every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. On the next episode, The Grind.
Join me this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on the Throwdown, and I'll be showing you how to make this no-bake dessert. Quite easy no-bake desserts.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Newsfeed on TV47, and I am Ruth Mulandi. Now, Narok Governor Samuel Ole Tunai has confirmed the third wave of the pandemic in Narok County. The county yesterday recorded 14 new cases, with 7 in isolation. Speaking during the county's COVID-19 briefing, Tunai said the county is ready to deal with any new cases, confirming a bed capacity of 300 beds, 7 oxygen machines and isolation stations in 210 health centers. The county received 3,000 doses this month and 654 residents have been vaccinated so far. He also instructed security personnel in Narok to enforce the guidelines set by the ministry and take action against those found violating them.
It is also in cognizance of this emerging threat that I'm pleased to update the people of Narok on the measures that my administration is taking to heighten our preparedness against this new variant of COVID-19. The third wave of COVID-19 is presently spreading in Narok County like it is in other parts of Kenya. Fortunately, the spread of the new COVID-19 variant in Narok is minimal, and our health facilities have not been overwhelmed. However, information from other counties indicate that the third wave of infection is extremely rapid and persistent. If we do not take urgent and comprehensive measures now, our county stands the risk of overstretching our health facilities and losing lives. This is why I'm urging all residents of Narok to continue adhering to existing COVID-19 protocols.
As Narok County COVID-19 emergency response team, and we have agreed to step up our enforcement on the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols. As we speak, we have teams from the National Police Service and the public health that are going around in Narok town and Wasonyiro to ensure that all eateries, restaurants, and other public places adhere to the COVID-19 protocols.
Now, a section of tea farmers in Murang'a County have termed null and void the recently held elections for new directors in various tea factories within the region. Led by Jane Wamboi, the farmers from Nduti, Makomboki, Ikumbi and Njunu tea factories claim that the officers who spearheaded the elections also vied for the available positions against the law. Yesterday, the court faulted the elections.
Ati wanataka kuchaguana na sisi wakulima ndio wenye hii baada ni yetu. Sasa sisi ndio tuko na waamuzi ya mwisho ya kusema tutachagua huyu na huyu, lakini sio hawa wanakuja kutuambia ni huyu. Tena kampeni lazima itagazwe siku fulani ama wiki 3 hivi ndio tuchunguze hawa watu wale tutachagua, lakini sio ati mikora ikuje. Sasa wanataka kupomoa factory yetu. Sisi wakulima na wamama, kwanza wamama sisi ndio tunahusu na majani juu hakuna cash crop ingine hii area yetu tunategemea majani chai juu maziwa ilianguka, watu wale walikuwa na kahawa upande ya chini ilianguka. Sasa sisi tunategemea tu na majani chai, na sasa kusomesha watoto wetu chakula, mafarisho na kila kitu yote tunatoa kwa majani chai.
Haikuwa inapendelewa na watu juu hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua hii kitu ni kitu ilikuja haraka ikakuja asubuhi yake, na ile protocol inatumiwa ya nini uchaguzi hakuna kitu ilikuweko. Wao mikola hiyo wale walikuwa hapo walisema ati mimi niko hongo nimeogwa. Sani naweza hongo namna gani?
Now over to Nyandarua, where over 170 families who are victims of the 2007-2008 post-election violence are on the verge of being evicted from a 523-acre farm 13 years after resettlement. This is after the government failed to buy the land from the owners of the parcel of land and resettle the IDPs there. Muhu Holdings Limited, which owns the parcel, has moved to court seeking orders to compel the families to vacate from the land and be charged with contempt of court for dividing the parcel of land amongst themselves despite an earlier court order that ruled against the families from developing the property. The victims are calling for the government to intervene, saying that they have been left at crossroads following the claims by the company.
Jambo la kwanza kwamba tumekaa hapa miaka 12, tunaenda miaka 13. Na kutoka wakati huo hatujawahi gawiwa hili shamba. Sisi wenyewe tukajigaiwa ndio tuweze kukaa vizuri tutoe katika kampu ambayo tulikuwa naye.
Mahali tumefika, watoto wetu wengine tumewazaria hemani. Tumeishi katika hali ya ukimbizi miaka 13. Na kama tunaweza leo hii kukuja kufurishwa hili shamba, watoto hawa na wakongwe hawa tutawapeleka wapi?
Na tuliletwa hii shamba ya Muhu ni serikali. Sasa tungeomba serikali yetu ikuje ili ituonyeshe kila mtu pahali yake.
Hivyo ninaomba Uhuru aangalie mambo yote ile ambayo tunateseka naye.
Tunakuomba kiongozi wetu wa Kenya, Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, ni kwa sababu wewe ndio uliahidi ukasema utatulete hapa utujali zaidi. Tunaona ya kwamba muda yako ikiisha tukiwa hapa tutasahawika kabisa.
And in Kiambu County, the government has begun the construction of more than 6 open-air markets in an effort to give hawkers a decent trading experience. Speaking in Larry constituency, Kiambu Governor James Nyoro said that the new market in Larry will have a capacity of more than 200 hawkers. The construction of the market comes as a relief to the hawkers who claim that they have suffered harsh climate conditions, including both rain and sunshine.
Sewa hapa, chakula yetu inaosea hapa.
Tunataka atujengee soko mzuri, soko tutakuwa tukikaa chini bila kunyeshewa na bila kugua na jua.
Tutajenga soko